So we've spoken about nuclear weapons and their use and nuclear war and stuff. Now let's talk about nuclear proliferation. Pro, more, ration, increase. Okay, so proliferation means, nuclear proliferation means having lots of nuclear weapons. Is it good for the UK, for America, for all these countries, in particular the more Western liberal countries, to have nuclear weapons? Well, you know, on the one part, this is a good, as we've mentioned before, deterrent. The idea that it stops other countries from choosing to go to war with us. So it's a really good deterrent, and it's also a strong political thing. Do I really want to mess with the Americans or the British if they've got nuclear weapons? Probably not. So, alright, okay, I'll do what they say. That is one kind of idea. The other idea is that nuclear weapons will, it's protecting lives as well. So one, it's kind of stopping war from happening, because it's, you know, what Britain says when they say, okay, you two countries, you need to break it up, it's very important to be peaceful. Some countries will choose to listen to them. What they say is more weight, because they know how powerful the UK and America, for example, are. However, also, you can actually say that nuclear weapons are important because they help protect the country itself. So, you know, no one's going to go to war as a country with America or England because they have nuclear weapons and they're not so keen on getting involved with them. So that's the idea. So that's the idea of this nuclear deterrent. However, others argue that it's wrong to keep nuclear weapons because, one, if you start using them, yeah, you're going to kind of like, you know, you're going to be killing lots of people. So you're not really setting a good example by having nuclear weapons. It's quite hypocritical for us to try to stop people having nuclear weapons in other countries like North Korea when we have nuclear weapons ourselves. Another argument is that if we, you know, he draws the sword, dies by the sword. If we have nuclear weapons, we're making them available to other countries. You're keeping that technology available, and spies can, you know, find these nuclear weapons, find the technology through which to make them, and ultimately have nuclear weapons themselves. Okay. Another idea is the money invested into making and maintaining nuclear weapons is not really worth it. Firstly, they're never going to be used. Why don't we use them on things like schools and such things as that? Are nuclear weapons really a bit of a, they're not really necessarily the best thing for us to have. So as a result, there is a campaign for such things as a nuclear disarmament, and some people believe that all countries should agree to destroy their weapons at the same time, what you'd call a multilateral disarmament. Every single country stops this. However, people argue, well, this is a bit unrealistic, you know, for us to destroy all our weapons immediately. What if another country doesn't do it? What if I go, you know, two people, right, put the gun down, let's do it. 1, 2, 3. Ah, you sucker, you put the gun down. Bang, you're dead. Okay, same idea. Right, let's all disarm our nuclear weapons. Oh, we all disarmed our nuclear weapons. North Korea, did you do it? No. Yeah, so then they're going to start killing you. So one idea is that this is, you know, that's one idea, the multilateral disarmament. Others believe that Britain should destroy all its weapons immediately without waiting for other countries. Let's just do it. Set the tone. Start setting the example. But other people feel, well, that's not a good idea, because let's at least do it when everyone else is doing it for the sake of the safety of our country. Some people might say it's rather irresponsible for us to choose to do unilateral disarmament and disarm our nuclear weapons straight away. I think that those are the main kind of key points. One thing is that, you know, obviously without nuclear weapons, countries wouldn't have power and influence. I would say that you could argue that it could be potentially sin by omission not to disarm our nuclear weapons, because we're not setting an example. But also you could argue that it would be rather, you know, we lose this important deterrent through which to protect our country, or protect the people within the UK, if we didn't deter them. I'm just thinking through a few quotes to see if there's anything that we could talk about. Unity, the idea of us doing it together, that would be a nice idea for multilateral disarmament. Materialistic purposes, you know, we could sell the weapons and argue that that could be an issue. You know, I think, you know, sanctity of life is obviously relevant, slippery slope is relevant, lots of different arguments that you could use here.